Welcome back, Commanders. It is Jaws Munch, and today we're going to be talking about what to do when you are absolutely getting dumpstered. Today we are on a full water map, so all of our naval commanders out there will be absolutely stoked. But we're going to go over some of the basic principles of how to hold the line when you are getting absolutely stomped, okay? This can happen either because of imbalance in the lanes. Maybe you have new players on your team, and the other players are more experienced, and so they're getting a lot of headway. And this is actually a great example of a game where that is the case. So you can see here, I have a decent amount of experience at 25 OS, and then we also have Gonk the Great over here. He's on the opposite side. Where is he? Gonk the Great at 40 OS. So we are going to have to hard carry this game. We have 23, 22, 20, 16, 18, 12, and 12 on the other team, with a couple 2 and 1 chevs on my side here, and a couple lower OS players as well. So this guy has never really played naval before in the world, and this is actually the side that gets dumpstered this game. We struggle just so much with this whole entire side during this game. Anyway, we'll skip past some of the basics because this video is not really going over the economy as much. It's more going over how to strategize when you're starting to lose a side. So you can see we are going to be going up against Gray Lizard and also Yakai and Samthosauri. I probably pronounced that right wrong, like super wrong. Anyway, I had no idea that these were some of the higher level players in the game, all going to be going up against us. We had some of the top 2, and then also a decent level Chev player as well, who has a decent amount of experience at 5 Chevs. So we're definitely imbalanced in the side of experience on our end here, and also in the side of OS. So it's going to be quite a tough matchup. Anyway, I try to give this guy a basic understanding of what to do. I tell him a little bit about how to play C before we really start. And you can see we have some units rolling in with some of those scout boats, and they end up taking out one of our metal extractors, already having some aggression, which is not great to see. And all we really have to defend is a destroyer. And destroyers are good, and they're very tanky, but sometimes not as good at actually stopping these very fast scout boats. And Pink just gets harassed here by a dolphin. Dolphin doing plenty of damage. So I determined, you know what, we're going to have to play a little bit more defensively here. We got Blue coming in as well, so with some dolphins. And he ends up going towards Purple, which is not great. I guess that's Pink. Anyway, a bit of a struggle. And then Pink ends up almost losing his constructor here. Honestly, that's Miss Micro from Light Blue there. But Light Blue's over here taking out his factory, which isn't great. So I'm like, okay, we're going to need to help. We're going to have to help this guy. He accidentally deguns his own base. He's super salty. And we got people coming in and just harassing us constantly. Green comes in. Blue already did their damage, and then we got another one of Light Blue here as well. Just not a great start to the game. Thankfully, on this side, things are a little bit more even and, you know, structured, while we're just trying to hold the line here. So, obviously, we want to try to keep our metal extractors up, but they keep knocking them down. It's quite frustrating. And I know that, like, we're not going to be able to hold this. We're already struggling, and it's only like what, 6 minutes into the game, so we're gonna be struggling to hold this all game long. I determined, you know what, let's just bring the commander back. We're gonna probably hold with some res subs and try our best just to hold this line as much as we can. And we got to give him a chance to get back into this game. So once again, bunch of ships coming in. We have really good defense here. We have the destroyers and the herrings. The herrings are really great for just adding vision. Super valuable. The vision is extremely important, especially when you have these destroyers. Destroyers need that extra sight range, and the herrings pair up perfectly with destroyers. We get a little bit of help from our torpedo bomber that comes in for the kill. All right, let's skip a little bit past here because I think there's not too much that ends up happening right now. We just aren't really to the worst part yet. Holding, all right. Just moving up, man. Here's another raid that comes in, and they just absolutely destroy all of Pink's boats. I think he might actually lose his base again, which is just so frustrating for him. So I just determined, okay, I can't push up. I have to fall back. This is just too frequently are we getting run down over here. We have to just hold back here. And then blue comes in with even more dolphins. Look at that. Even more. This is just going terribly for us. Oh, does he get the D-gun? Oh, he doesn't get any kills with the D-gun. Oh, man. And I'm coming full sprint. And factory is dead, just like that. Now, the good thing about this is we have all this metal, right? But Pink is, like, on the verge of quitting, because that's his second factory wipe, which is just horrible. So he's already quite low on metal, quite low on everything. And I think I end up queuing up a bit of res subs here, because we want to... So with Navy, especially, when you're losing, trying to maintain control of your metal, since they're pushing in so hard on us, trying to maintain control of your metal is exceptionally important. If you don't maintain control and the opponent gets all of this, then you're in even deeper trouble than you were before. So you can see I'm automatically going for resurrection here. And I tell him, hey, res this. We're going to res this up. Because he's obviously distraught. He's like, man, I don't want to play this anymore. So I say, hey, we're resing this up for you. I tell him, don't, just wait. I'll give you back your factory. We'll res you up. We'll get you back in. And thankfully, Pink is here and helping us a little bit. But honestly, he needs to focus more on his front line. More people are on the way. I said, get some E storage, get some M storage. And that's just so he's not overflowing all of his metal. He needs to retain the metal that he does have, because I want him to wait to spend it. Me frustrated. Me no thanking. Poor Pink. Yeah, a frustrating game for sure. And some damage. Damage to his destroyer. We really needed a radar here as well. And I tell him, get res subs, lots of them. We're gonna need them to resurrect this army once again. So now keep in mind, also I want to talk about this. I just have things kind of on repeat for the most part. I have my little grouping that I like, you know, usually 2 frigates, 1 destroyer, 1 herring, and a res sub. Usually works out pretty well for me. And you don't want to overinvest too much in energy. Energy is very valuable if you're doing a lot of resurrection. So that's one of the reasons why I'm building a lot more. But with naval, one of the secrets is don't overinvest in energy, because energy, you don't need nearly as much for naval. Most of the deal is just metal. But we're getting out res subs. You can see we have a decent number of them here, and we're just resurrecting everything. We want our army to expand based on what they have hit us with. Making sure they cannot push forward. And we're not making any aggressive plays. We're just holding the line. Because we have a decent number of units here. We can just hold, and any metal that does come into our possession will be closer to us and easier to actually hold. I give a command to Gonk. I'm like, hey, Gonk, we need to hurry up. They have T2, so be cautious. And I tell him maybe push now because they have T2. So Gonk's side is winning. Our side is definitely losing. And then here's a big raid of destroyers and frigates coming straight towards Pink's base. And then blue is over here, nice and positioned, ready to wipe us. But we have more ships than him because we also rezzed all of his stuff. So we have a decent number. And we wiped there, but unfortunately we're also dealing with this. And I don't notice this until it's way too late. I'm over here still dealing with this. I don't even notice yet. And then blue as well. And I finally look back and I'm like, oh, snap. So we finally, thankfully we set up a couple defenses. The reason why I did that was just because I had that gut feeling that we were going to get pushed, you know, pretty heavily. So I set up a couple torp launchers, and these actually saved our biscuits quite a bit here. Unfortunately, they wipe out all of our energy, like, completely. And we have torpedo bombers coming in, which is good. They will help us finish this up, but not without losing quite a bit on our side. So meanwhile here, we're just holding. We're shored up. We're holding. We're not really paying too much attention. Focusing still on resurrection. But we have to deal with this. This is a lot of units here. Thankfully, the torp bombers really paid off here. Torp bombers and gunships. Shout out to Parsi. Excellent kills. And a good hold. They don't quite break our factory. Very close. We heal it just in time to keep it from dying. And now we have all that metal on our side. So we're in a good position for the most part, but we are still quite, you know, our energy's in a horrible position. We had a ton and now we're down to 62. That's like opening energy, you know? That's like you can finally build your first lab type of energy at the beginning of the game. But we have a decent amount of metal at our control still. He's sharing units with me so we can just hold the line decently. And we're just going into energy as quickly as possible. Even though it's so slow. We're doing what we can. Right? Holding the line. Holding the line. Good kills. Now, you could actually try a couple different strategies when you're behind. One of them being that you know, pork up. That's obviously one strategy, is to pork and just hold as hard as you can, as long as you can, just so your side doesn't fully collapse. The other strategy would be to bum rush and attempt to get an advantage. So we see they went T2, and it's at this point that I determined, you know what, let's try to rush in. And I think this actually worked out somewhat well in our favor. Maybe not. I honestly don't know why I pushed in like that. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, our energy is increasing decently. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know why I pushed in like that. Kind of crazy. Second thought, I would not do that. I would have definitely not done that because now we have basically no army here. Gonk is still holding the line quite well. Torpedo bombers. Going for the kill. Good kill there. And we're going T2. We are overflowing metal, largely because we couldn't spend it all from our energy deficit we had. But we're finally in position to go T2. And we know they already have T2, so we basically are being forced into that position. Well, once again, letting this side play out as they are doing quite well, and holding this side to the best of our ability. Port bombers doing good work here. Yeah, those ships are done for. Alright, we got our T2. And we know we need the destroyer, which is kind of crazy. Very expensive to start with, but that's what we need to be able to hold, because we know they all have T2. And we cannot sit on that T2. I think we might start... Oh yeah, we're just going for metal here. Interesting. Anyway, let's go ahead and skip past this. Wait till we see if they push it at all. Just waiting for that T2 to get out completely E-stalled. And our destroyer is finally out, which is good. And we're building up our wind speed once again. Still not very much energy, though. They have mostly just the paladins, it looks like. Which paladins are anti-sub. They're not super good at just firing... You know, just attacking the standard ships. They're better at doing a combination of sub and standard boat attack. So that's one of those things where I wouldn't really build the paladin unless I knew that there was a large amount of submarines I had to go up against. I wouldn't just default build the paladin, because it does not perform. It performs more like a destroyer or frigate. Honestly, it's not that strong of a T2 ship. But for what it's designed for, it does well. We end up creating a blockade here, which is kind of hilarious. And they begin pushing us. And we have a decent army here. They've got paladins and lightning, but we have the despot. And for those who don't know, the despot is unlike any other T2 ship in the game. It is extremely powerful. It has a long-range plasma cannon. It also has a medium-range laser cannon as well. So this thing will dumpster in a fight. It will beat out Armada's T2 destroyer or T2 battleship with ease. But unfortunately, Green sneaks in another attack. Thankfully, Pink is holding his own. He's been having a bit of trouble this game, trying to help us survive. But he is holding his own. And the torpedo bombers come in for the win. Thankfully, we have a battleship here. Battleship's going to make quick work of these guys. Blasting away. And our energy is finally in a good position where we're not stalling. Good damage here. Good damage. Wiped. Green takes a little bit of advantage as we pulled back. And so I gave Pink a despot. I'm like, hey, that should be able to hold quite well. At least make him think about retreating a bit. So he's able to shore up his army. We get that cleaned up and we're able to focus once again on Green. Which, if you look at it, this stands no chance against our army. Couple lightning tanks. Good damage. And we now have 3 despot. holding the line. And every time they lose one of these battles, that means we get their medal. It's not a small thing to win these fights. This is just regaining the medal value. And keep in mind, this is a similar thing to what you're going to want to do on land as well. You want to try to retain the medal value of the attacks and just resist attack, push them back, get the medal value, fall back again. You know, that's kind of how you hold the line. We have no advantage on the metal extraction side. But like I said, Red is doing great work up here. They are succeeding and we are holding, and that's all that matters. And we're at the point where we have such a large army, we can just push in. And we're getting resurrection here on all of the stuff they killed over here. This is all just free money laying on the ground. And we continue pushing in, wiping out destroyers, battleships, torpedo bombers, and gunships doing the work. Oh man, excellent. Excellent here. The Despot just absolutely trashing everything. Not to mention all of our anti-air. Excellent plays here. These guys are meeting up once again with the rest of our armada, and now we are in a position to actually push and get this medal. So we need this reclaim. This is a decently high priority because there's multiple battleships there worth of metal. It's 12,000 metal just sitting there. And our despots are in pretty good health. There's nothing like the Vortex naval. It absolutely messes up everything else. You can see they're resurrecting here. So we want to shoot these guys down. Destroy those subs. We do not want them to get the value. Blast them. Excellent kills. And now they appear to only have flagships left. I think they probably overinvested in the anti-air. Probably due to Parsi. Parsi doing a nice little harassment on them. You can see we're just reclaiming here. We just want to turn it all into our own ships. Because honestly, the Armada ships aren't as good, so why not just reclaim it, right? And here we have broken the line. Now we're able to do some aggression. They've had the standard of aggression all game. It's our turn. We've held the line, grabbed their medal on every single offensive play they did, and now we can push on them. More battleships up here, but we have 3 despots coming to our aid. There's no way they're going to hold. Boom. And then torpedo bombers as well. Excellent plays. And of course, we're going to take this all the way back to their base. Blue retreating with some of his raid he was planning on doing. And you can see we have multiple colors here. We have green, dark green, blue, and light blue. That's 4 colors all because of us. And I say, hey, bro, just go all the way to their base. Go all the way to their base. So he's flanking on the side. These guys are getting gunship down. We're holding the line. And he is going to be coming in and hitting the back line. So as they push to deal with the air, we push in to deal with the rest of their naval. We now have 4 despots. One's about to go down, but we have all of the resurrection here. Huge army at our disposal. Massive damage, and we're overflowing metal a bit. I think, yep, we're going to scale our build power as well because of that, and we just have these guys. It's when you hit T2, you really want to start scaling your energy economy and your build power economy. Look at this. This guy just goes all the way, and these guys sneak in on him. Hitting all that economy. It's all gone. Absolute payback. Well done, Pink. You did the damage where it matters. And he didn't get quite as much value as I was hoping, to be honest. I did a repair command here because these ships were quite low, so I figured might as well. But yeah, he did decent, you know, hitting that economy there. Boom, wiping out the build turrets. And he's just starting. He's still on his way. Boom, damage. Oh, barely didn't wipe it. That frigate's still getting some value. Anyway, we hold off the rest of these guys that are pushing in. A couple of these submarines. The torpedo bombers were just so overpowered this game. Getting plenty of value. Good kills, and red ends up sieging their base over here as well. So this is really starting to look like GG for the blue team. More battleships, not standing a chance though. Those despots fully healed made this just basically impossible to deal with. And now we get to full send 5 battleships straight into their economy. Couple of these submarines. We're not really worried about them, honestly. I think we still have some destroyers coming out on occasion. No, not really. We don't have any destroyers. We have 1 buccaneer every couple minutes. But we wipe out their economy here. And this is where it gets a little risky, because if they retain all of this metal value and we don't do enough damage, we're going to be kind of hurting. So we have to wipe out several bases with this amount of metal and also maintain a good amount of value pushing in on them. We lose our buccaneer, and now we just have battleships at our disposal. Blasting the economy. Taking out 1 more factory there. Factory dead. A little bit of build power wipe. Okay, and that's good enough. We still have green here. He's still alright, but they're calling the resign vote. They're probably gonna resign soon. So green is down, but light green still has a decent sized base. Light blue is completely wiped. So that's 2 bases worth wiped. And we're still resurrecting everything. / reclaiming. I think, yeah, we switch over to reclaiming here because you want to, if you don't have good possession of metal, you want to just reclaim it as fast as possible. Resurrection takes more time. Reclaim is relatively quick. And you want to try to get as much value as possible. So we're going for the reclaim because we are in their territory. And you can see we're branching out a bit now. We're not really focusing on this side because this side is quite hampered. And they don't really have what it takes to hold their side very well, and they're not going to be doing anything too aggressive. So we're just going for some basic economy damage and pushing through this side of the map. I don't think they have any... Yeah, they don't have anything to wipe out our res subs here. Which is a mistake. They definitely should have built some. Because, man, juicy metal here. Thousands and thousands of metal. Just free. Good wipe there. And we are cranking out units like crazy. We're also building a couple metal storage. Now, this is where metal storage is actually valuable, is you have res subs and you're reclaiming tons of metal and you want to retain that metal value. So you just send it all into metal storage so that your army grows bigger. I mean, it's not the worst thing to send it to your allies, you know? And that's what happens when you don't have metal storage. It'll just overflow into your allies' base. But I want my side to become extremely powerful. So we are storing it. We are maintaining as much control of this metal as possible. Sucking it up. Thousands and thousands and thousands. Storing it up. There's a couple subs that come in and wipe here. So I think we get a few more Buccaneers probably popping out. Yeah, we switch over to 2 Buccaneers to 1 Despot. Thankfully, we have a couple of them here, so we will be able to kill them all. Unfortunately, Pink's base is wiped. Orange comes in with the blockade, finishing off the subs. Well done, all wiped. They're still sending in more. And we don't honestly have that much control, but we're even now we're still getting some of this metal value, which is quite entertaining. We have some of our res subs over here still getting all of this metal. So that was huge. Like, that's absolutely massive. We got 18,000 metal just at our disposal this whole time from Reclaim. Alright, I think they probably end up surrendering relatively soon. I don't remember if we get another push in or not. So, red's over here wiping blue's base completely. Yep. And then it's just down to light blue at that point. And they call it GG. And the resign vote comes in. So we don't even get a chance to abuse all of our armada we have back here, but red got plenty of abuse in on his side. Look at that damage. Man. Anyway, quite a close game, honestly. We barely held for so long, but like I said, trying to retain the metal value and using those aggressive plays to build up an army for yourself and let them push wave after wave into you as long as you're able and capable of maintaining control of it, right? If you can't maintain control, then honestly porking up is the best you can probably do. But hopefully you found this video helpful and maybe got a few tips for how to hold in a situation where you are losing and where your side is barely surviving. And if you did, definitely like the video and subscribe for more tips.